Hello, I'm Jessica Sterling, and this is my presentation on the ethical issues of standing tall. I've provided the trailer for Standing Tall because it gives multiple snippets of Maloney as he goes through his journey to hopefully learn to do the ethical thing. Please note that this film is in French, so you'll have to read the subtitles. Yes, I know, I'm weird. This slide is about Maloney. I think in order to better understand the ethical dilemma that Maloney has to make, his backstory must be understood. Maloney was raised by a single mother who was on and off drugs, and he did not have a positive male role model in his life. The first time that he was brought before the judge, his mother left him there because she was frustrated and claiming that he was just behaving at that time and that he was a monster. From this point, Maloney was in and out of different homes, in and out of the office of the judge. It was his latest actions of pushing a woman and stealing her car that Maloney had to start addressing and facing the consequences of his actions. Maloney's ethical dilemma. Maloney at this point has an ethical dilemma to make. He can continue in a self-destructive path by doing what he knows to be wrong, or he can change his actions to what most people find acceptable. To help teach Maloney what was right, he had a counselor assigned to him for support, and the judge sent him to a discipline home. After spending 6 months, Maloney had yet to make the decision to do what is right and to treat other people ethically. Resolution of the ethical conflict. At the end of the film, we are left with the appearance that Maloney has finally changed from his unethical ways. Maloney ended up in prison after stealing a car and wrecking it with his younger brother in it on Christmas Eve. Maloney had also seen Tess that night, which had resulted in her getting pregnant. He had found this out after he had been put into prison. At first, Maloney did not want the child, but after spending time in prison and reflecting on it and his love for Tess, he decided that he wanted the child. In the ending scene, Maloney returns to see the judge one last time with his newborn child and has the appearance of getting his life together so that he can be the father to his child. This is a happy ending, which is very nice to see, but is not always what ends up happening. Other ethical discussions. Maloney was my focus for this presentation, but I think it is important to mention some of the other ethical topics that come up. The first is the French court system's handling of the case. Should Maloney have went to rehab sooner? Should they have taken him from his mother to provide him with a more structured life sooner? Did they really consider the parties involved when sentencing Maloney, or were they being too soft on him? Another topic is Maloney's mother, who was on and off drugs and did not always appear to have the best interest of her children in mind, and did not provide much in the way of discipline. Do you think that it was ethical of her to keep them, or should she have allowed someone else to raise them and provide them a more stable and structured life? The last topic I want to mention is that other than the prosecutor, there was not much heard about from the point of view of those that Maloney had unethically treated. What are their rights in this situation? With Maloney on the streets, known for his violent acts and continuous stealing of cars, were they safe? How would you feel if you were on the receiving end of Maloney's actions, and he pushed you out of the way and stole your car? These are all tough topics and have pros and cons to them, but they are still relevant ethical topics, even in our own culture, that need to be addressed. Here is a reference to the French film if you're interested in watching the whole thing. Just a reminder, the film is in French, so you'll have to read subtitles if you don't speak French. Thanks for taking the time to view this presentation, and I hope that it has made you think a bit more on your own ethical choices that affect others.